Hi dear friends and welcome to my channel, and if you're new here, please don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button if you do find this video helpful, okay? And don't forget to click on the notification bell so you don't miss any posts from me, okay? And today what we are going to do, and yeah, I'm feeling a little better with my back pain going on, but I am a little bit better now to make a video. Okay, so today what we are going to do, as you can see, these are some of the beautiful flowers that I just plucked from my terrace garden. Okay, and so as you can see, poof, poof, poof. Isn't it amazing? They look beautiful. So these are morning glories. I have another color, okay, which is a little bit darker violet than this, okay, and you probably have a red one too, but I don't have that. I have a pink, a blue, and a violet, okay, and there probably is a white colored flower too, okay. That's what I have seen in certain pictures, but I think I have some of the most beautiful colors of the flower, okay, and I really like it. And today we are going to just talk a little bit about these flowers, okay, and then what we are going to do is we are going to talk a little bit about the flowers. We are going to go through how you can like hand pollinate it, okay, so you don't have to purchase seeds again and again. And I'm getting beautiful seeds of the plants now, and for some time I did not get any seeds, and trust me, it was very frustrating because these grow for a certain amount of time, like for 3-4 months they will give you excellent amount of flowers, but then these just start to die out slowly by giving seeds, so that you can like plant them again. And you can plant them like almost at any point of time in the year, because I planted these guys like 3-4 months back when it was like really hot and summery, and now it's a little bit wintry, but it's still kind of hot right now, but it's still not as hot as before. So we are also getting tons of rains, so it is kind of like it can grow even in such kind of a weather. Yeah, so what we are going to do is we are gonna try and know a little bit about the flowers, okay. So these guys, as you can see, you have to keep in mind a few things. Firstly, okay, what you have to see is if the plant is producing, like I'll show you a difference in the flowers, okay. As you can see, these are two different plants, okay, but the color is same, the plant is same, okay, but one plant was giving bigger size flowers, the other one giving a smaller size one, okay. So that is something that you have to keep in mind for the type of seeds, okay. So if you're going to plant seeds from this plant particularly, it's well nourished and its seeds will be better in quality. And if the plant, even if same color, but same plant, same color, but a different plant, I mean, you get what I'm trying to say, right? I mean, it's the same colored, same genetics, but the plant is a different one. These are two different plants. One plant was well nourished and the other not so much, okay. So the seeds from this particular one is not gonna be that good, okay. So keeping that in mind, we are gonna have to pick the seeds, okay. Now, how are you going to hand pollinate the flowers? Firstly, as you can see, okay, you have to damage a few flowers if you want to hand pollinate it. And these flowers kind of like, if the temperature is really like hot and summery, these will start to bloom at around 4 a.m. in the morning, okay. And they will probably, as the heat goes on increasing, and they will kind of like wilt by it's like 10 or 11 a.m, okay. At least in a tropical country, that is what happens, okay. And well, that is the usual thing. And so okay, so these guys have the pollen, if you can see, okay. These dusty powdery things, these are the pollens, okay. Yeah, see, these are the pollens, and these pollens need to kind of pollinate this guy over here. Okay, so these pollens need to touch this thing over here. Okay, yeah, so these pollens needs to touch this central stick. Okay, the top of this central stick, that's what these powdery, dusty, these sandy things needs to touch. So for hand pollination, you will have to tear off, say, like one flower while it's still on the stalk. Okay, while it's still attached to the plant, just tear it like this. Okay, try to pluck one or two of these male pollens. Okay, and touch it to this one, this central one. Okay, this central one, just touch it to the central one. This is attached to the ovary. Okay, and then when this flower just wilts out, this is a longer one. All right, so it's very easy to recognize, and you have to touch this male pollens onto this one, onto this guy. Okay, that's how you will be hand pollinating this. This obviously has to still stay stuck to the branch. All right, and when it is proper, you have to try like several times. Okay, and you will see that many of the flowers, for the first few times, they will kind of like get loosened up from here and they will fall. Okay, so those are just beginning to get pollinated and probably not properly pollinated, or they will not be falling. But sometimes after a little while, you'll see that this will not fall off from the plant from this edge, and it becomes really strong and hardy and gives you a fruit. Yeah, I did pluck a fruit for you guys so that I can show you. Okay, so that's a fruit of our morning glory. Okay, that is the type of fruit that will be hanging something like this from the plant. Okay, it looks a lot familiar like the rose hip, right? It looks very familiar, and since I did pluck this out from the plant, it's still raw, so please do wait, and it will take several days for it to get dried under the sun. Okay, and when this does get dried up, okay, you will get a few seeds from this. Okay, the seeds will be something like this. See, these are the seeds. This is how the seeds look when they are still raw. All right, this is how the seeds look like when they are like still raw. Okay, when they are still raw. This is how the seeds look like, and when they're dried, the seeds will look something like these. Okay, that's how the seeds are gonna look like. It just shrivels up and becomes a little smaller in size, right? Yeah, and then please just put them in a Ziploc plastic. Okay, so that they stay fresh, but they has to be properly dried, and they has to become something like this. Okay, blackish. Then when you do sow them, the next thing that you will see is they kind of germinate within 3 to 4 or 5 days at best. Okay, and when they do germinate, they kind of look like butterflies. Let me show you. So these guys kind of look like butterflies. And we also have another plant which is known as butterfly pea, or the Indian pigeon pea, right? So, or the Clitoria tunata, if you are familiar with that, better known in Indian terminology as a parajita. Okay, the one that cannot be defeated. Yes, the name is really nice. Okay, but I would say that this plant, that is the morning glory, actually looks a lot like butterflies when they are growing, and these are the first leaves. And the germination rate is really good if the soil is good. Okay, and the thing is, I sowed 6 of them. The 6th one did not germinate. Okay, so I'm right now having only 5. Okay, yeah, all right, it was zoomed in, so I just kind of zoomed out. Okay, so the sixth one did not germinate, and you can see the seeds are still stuck to one of them. The actual original leaves, okay, these are the original leaves, but these are like fake leaves, okay. So the first leaves are kind of fake. This is not exactly how the leaves look like. Okay, so the leaves are kind of like shape of a spade, okay, and this is a vine, so this is a creeper, and you can actually make a gazebo for it, or how I like to call it, like you can make a bouquet with some support, okay, so that you get an entire bunch on one pot, okay. And we have like a lot of these guys in even downstairs, okay. And so this time I'm trying to we were first letting it climb all over the balcony, okay, but this time I'm thinking that they kind of climb so high up that it's really difficult to pluck any flowers when you want to, okay. So they kind of like go totally out of the reach, okay, so that becomes a little bit of a problem. So this time I'm planning on keeping it in a pot and giving it a canopy kind of, okay, and like build a small wire mesh gazebo or a bouquet, however you want to call it, a net kind of a structure, so that it kind of gives me a whole rounded bouquet and looks like a dome shaped, okay. So that is what I'm trying to do this time, and you can take a 6-inch pot for that and make that, okay. And germination rate is really high with these guys. Like I said, I sowed 6, but 5 came up, so that's like pretty good germination. And sometimes you could help the plants a little bit by just taking off these seeds that is stuck to the plants, okay. And it's okay, these leaves don't really matter, because see, the actual leaves are coming up from here, as you can see, right? These are the actual leaves that is coming up from this area. Okay, so those are the real leaves, okay. This one is also going to have a real leaf pretty soon. This one is already having a real leaf. See, the tiny one that is coming up from between the stalks of the flower leaves, that has already come up. So that, all right, so today what we're gonna do is we will sow a few seeds, and we will do the soil preparation, and we will take a look at how these guys germinate over the next few weeks. All right, so just germinated these guys, and they have grown like almost 2 inches, right? So almost the size of my finger, as you can see. Yeah, so these guys has grown this big within just 3 days, I think, from germinating. These guys have grown to this much within like 3-4 days, okay. So they grow really fast. All right, so let me show you the containers and stuff that I'm going to be using. All right, so for these, it's best that you kind of like use at least 6-inch container, plastic pot, if you're wanting to build a gazebo, okay, or like, as I like to call it, a plant flower bouquet, okay. So that style is gonna require a rounded pot, okay, and rounded pot is really good for building a mesh structure over it. That I'm gonna show you in a different video, because this video is gonna go like really long, okay. So that's why. And so I'm gonna take a pot like this 6 inches, okay, has a lot of holes, so I'm gonna be having to cover these holes up with something, okay. And then we'll put in the soil mix that we are going to prepare for it. These guys don't really grow for too long, so they are not going to be in the same pot for a very long time. You will get a chance to reuse the pot, and a little bit of plastic is not going to bother the plants, okay. These guys are really hardy and resistant, okay. They don't grow a really hardy stalk, but these guys are resistant to any kind of like plasticky toxin or stuff like that. More or less, and they kind of like grow for not too long, so they kind of will grow, take the nutrition, die out, and give you new seeds. All right, so I'm putting in a little bit of plastic, covering the holes up a little bit, and the kind of soil preparation is going to be a little different from the usual stuff. All right, so for the soil, what we are going to use are let me just move this around a little bit. Okay, so from the previous video and from the previous soaking of the seeds and stuff that we have been doing for quite some time now, what I kind of figured out is I had these germination trays filled with a lot of coco peat, and you can also use mulch if you have that. Okay, this has to be in quite some quantity. If you have lots, just use a little bit too much. Okay, don't use less. They will need to be used kind of like a little bit too much, because they bloom so much. Okay, they love tropical climate, by the way, and they bloom so much that they're like always absorbing water. They need a lot of water. Okay, and I have not seen even one plant since I have had like almost 50 of them growing. Okay, upstairs, downstairs, and there's like almost 50 of them growing right now and producing like so much flower. Okay, I can tell you I have not seen even one plant grow through root rot. Okay, which is kind of amazing. And I've been like watering them in the morning, and by evening they're like completely dried out. Okay, so that means they kind of love a lot of water, and my soil does have a bit of coco peat, but not too much. So this time I have used a lot of coco peat. Okay, so that they don't dry out due to any kind of like a dehydration shock. Okay, because I've been seeing if I forget to water them even one day, thankfully they are all in my balcony also, but if I forget to water them even one day, the entire plant just wilts. They just wilt. Okay, so they would love a lot of water, so please, you have to provide them with a lot of coco peat. Okay, to make the soil mixture. Wait, I'll just bring in a little bit more of fiber. Okay, before we start on with the potting mix. Boom. All right, so that is a lot of fiber that we are having over here. Okay, that is a lot of fiber. We will also need a little bit of soil. Okay, so this is well sieved out garden soil. Okay, it already contains a little bit of fiber, but doesn't have to. Okay, as per the thing that we are trying to make right now, you can actually prepare, you can just put in a bit of soil, okay, from your garden. Okay, any kind of good well sieved out soil would be really helpful. So it's a 6-inch pot. Is gonna need some soil, obviously. Okay, a good quantity, and you will also have to give these guys a lot of nutrition. Okay, what I like to do is one-stop nitrogen booster, and that is my NPK. Okay, so that is my one-stop nitrogen booster. Okay, I'm just gonna sprinkle like a teaspoon, not a tablespoon. Okay, just like a teaspoon, and that's pretty much it. My NPK is slightly pink in color, and it's kind of like, I'm not sure if all NPKs are pink in color, but it is 10:18:24 balanced mix, and it's pretty good. And I'm gonna be using just a little bit of vermicompost, not too much. Okay, and we will just mix it with light hands. Okay, not sure if you guys can see. Yeah, okay. Alright, so we will be mixing it up. Oh, you guys can see the flowers. I like this. Okay, yes, let's mix this up. Okay, mix this in really well. Today the soil and stuff that I'm using, everything is a little moist. I had watered it some time back, so it's kind of like moist, and it's not extremely dry like the soil you saw when I was doing my corns, planting my corns. And of course, do go and check out the how to germinate and the other video, that is how to transplant corn saplings, seedlings, okay, for cultivation of corn. So that corn cultivation video is like really good. The corns are doing excellent, so I'm just gonna be taking you guys and giving you a tour of how the corns are doing. They love the rain, they love the water, they have to be watered every day. And so we will hand sort out ultimately as to which ones we have to keep and the ones that we are going to discard from the saplings, okay, at a certain point, but not right now. We will just let them grow till we are sure that which ones are healthy and which ones are not so healthy. Okay, so that's it. It's well sieved out, right? Has a lot of fiber, going to retain a lot of water, and we have closed partially, so it will help them not to go into any kind of root rot, even though I have not seen these plants go through, not even one plant I have seen going through any kind of root rot. Also, these guys are pretty disease resistant, okay, so if you don't have the habit of fertilizing and stuff, and I mean insecticiding and stuff, these guys are the perfect choice to grow. And their flowers are just beautiful. Okay, so let us just fill the soil up, and we're not going to close like fill it up for till the entire top. Okay, we're just gonna fill it to a certain level. Okay, exactly at the level that I have done for these guys. Okay, so I'm keeping like a 1 finger gap. Okay, as you can see, it's like a 1 finger gap. Okay, so that is exactly what I'm going to do. We will fill that up when those grow a little bit. Okay, but first we are going to be building a gazebo for this. Okay, a bouquet, mesh, cage, flower cage, whatever you call it. I like to call it gazebo. It sounds interesting, right? So that we are going to build around it first, because these guys are going to throw off tendrils pretty soon, and also like shoots and stuff. So branches, sorry, they don't exactly have like tendril kind of thing going on, but they have their branches and offshoots that they throw. Those are like tendrils, like they attach to stuff and they just spiral around any kind of support and stuff that they get. Okay, so then it's really difficult to actually take those guys down. Also, I would like to mention something. I'm not sure if these things are toxic for animals. Okay, so and because when you cut a branch of morning glory, okay, it excretes a milk kind of a liquid. Okay, so and any kind of milk kind of liquid, as far as my knowledge goes, is a little bit of toxic, even if not for humans, but it is for animals. Okay, so I would say that try to keep these guys a little bit away if you have pets. Okay, and please do not try to taste it. Okay, might be just a bit poisonous and stuff. So all right, so next we are going to be putting in the seeds that I stored up from my last growing, okay, of the morning glory. So that's what I stored up, so that is what I'm going to be using. Okay, I'm going to again use like 6 seeds. Okay, all right, let me see. Yeah, all right, 6 seeds. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. And my environment is slightly noisy at the moment. Okay, so we're going to be just spreading it around. Let us check the length. Yes, it's almost like 1 finger gap, as you can see, 1 finger gap. Okay, now we're going to be sowing the seeds with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Okay, now we are going to be covering it up with a bit of soil mixture. It's gonna take at least 4 to 5 days, okay, to germinate. Keep sprinkling water on it every single day, and then okay, is gonna be really well germinating. Okay, my environment today is a little bit noisy, okay, but please just concentrate on the video. All right, so that's pretty much it, and just water it up and keep it in. You can actually, if you're like supervising the amount of water, then you can keep it like in full sunlight. Just keep an eye that this does not get over dried. Okay, and in my next video we are gonna be building a gazebo for these guys. Okay, and I will update you guys with, there's a lot of noise. Look at it here today. Okay, so in my next video I'm gonna be updating you guys, okay, with the absolute how it's going and stuff, how it's coming up. Okay, all right, so don't forget to share the video on social media, don't forget to hit a like and stay subscribed to my channel. Okay, I hope that you guys will be planting these guys soon, and let us just put these two guys over here for the time being. Okay, all right, and we will see you next time in my next video. Till then, bye bye. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe.